think it's really important. We used to think about our osteoarthritis as a cartilage disease. That's what we could put our heads to, or put our hands around and wrap our heads around, was what we saw osteophytes on radiographs, right? But we know that those osteophytes don't pop up overnight. Where does the joint get its nutrition from? Where does joint health come from? The joint gets its nutrition from the synovium. So it's that synovitis, that inflammation of the synovium, that really triggers all the other cascade that develops into osteoarthritis. So we really need to think about the joint as an organ. We have different bones involved, different surfaces of cartilage involved. We may have ligaments inside the joint or around the joint. But what feeds the joint and keeps the joint happy is that synovium. So when we get synovitis, we then get an imbalance in the catabolism and anabolism that goes on in that joint. Right? The joint every day has turnover. Just like we have our red blood cells get through our circulation and go back through and get processed and have a lifespan, the joint capsule lining has a lifespan. Right? The synoviocytes are growing, they have a lifespan, and then they fall apart, right? And grow up new ones behind it. They're constantly growing new levels of synovium through there. So if we support that, we're doing well. Right? But that joint is an organ, and if we haven't, the normal catabolism and anabolism for homeostasis of that joint is super important. But when we get a disease like dysplasia of the hip, cruciate ligament injury, we've now aggravated that synovium. We've then had an imbalance. We have more catabolic state than anabolic state. We're getting destruction. When we get that destruction, we get inflammation, and inflammation leads to osteoarthritis.